No, you wanted to do a RV park.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
So can we agree that,
Kathy, yeah.
I'm sorry, Kathy, I'm sorry.
I think affordable housing is a question here, but I don't think it's a council problem. I mean, I don't know, I mean, a lot of people commute back and forth from cities to where they live and work. Like Jerome said, I think if we make it appealing for a builder to come in here and build some affordable housing without going through all the red tape, it would be a little bit easier, but I don't see how we could affect it.
So, I want to go back to the funding strategy. We don't have that on the list, and it's not a project, but it is a project, because we're talking about diversified funding strategy, which means federal, state, local, private foundations, and private donors. So, by ourselves as a city, we don't have access to all the funding opportunities, so we have to create that infrastructure to do that kind of funding that other communities do. So it's very important that we have a specific, we talked about that when you were here at one time, the public-private partnership kind of strategy. We're going to need your help on it, David, but we have to have a funding strategy, because today, the money, the social capital money that's available, you go to these organizations and you have to be structured to compete for that social capital.
Council President, Mr. Mayor.
You with me? I mean, is there any?
I just wanted to, I know this, I don't want Steve to be a lone voice in this community foundation idea. I think because Steve brought out something interesting, and it's absolutely true, is that there is a lot of, I mean, including the Clinton Foundation. I mean, there's a lot of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. There's just a lot of monies out there for worthy causes that go to these, and we as a council, the city of Depoe Bay can't apply to these, but if we had a community quote-unquote foundation, we might be able to tap in on some of this money as a city. Right. I mean, it would go to, like, on the list is salmon enhancement, okay, or affordable housing. We've got an interactive screen. Somebody hits that on the community foundation website, and it pops up, hey, this is what we do in Depoe Bay. This is, you know, and it's under our umbrella of the community foundation's umbrella. This is a worthy cause. We're helping, you know, kids learn. We're helping salmon repopulate our coastal streams, yada, yada, yada. And we're asking for your support. Bam.
Thank you. That is the funding strategy of the 21st century.
Mm-hmm. You have to apply to get it.
That's right, but you also have to be in position.
Exactly.
To
Right.
You have to create the infrastructure in your community.
That's right.
Trust me, I know. I've applied for lots of
The
scholarships.
city of Depoe Bay needs a partner.
Everybody's talking at once here.
Okay, I'm just saying, I'll just finish up by saying the city of Depoe Bay, the community, needs a partner. That's what we're talking about. We need partners.
Good.
Albeit I agree completely, but I really think that's getting a little too far off the subject of this. We're supposed to be.
Well, you know, I'd say on this, you know how I feel about this. I'm right on this whole thing. This is that community foundation is a topic coming.
Funding strategy.
Funding, you want to call it funding
I
strategy?
want to call it
that's fine.
funding strategy.
I like the community foundation. It
Yeah.
sounds pleasant.
Okay,
But in any case, hold on, we're not, sir, just with all due respect. So can we agree that the failing transmission lines and dredging and storing up the dam are number 1 and 2 on this list? For what I'm hearing, is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. And then number 3, we heard parking, economic development, and a harbor. Which way do we go? 3 with the harbor, then parking and economic development 4. How do we do that?
Parking should be 3.
Yes.
Parking 3,
Agreed.
and then the harbor 4.
Yes.
Okay, and economic development is 5, because that's what we've been hearing about. Is that fair?
I think it should be a little higher up on the list, but I guess I'm willing to settle for
I
that.
think the one interesting thing is that what Steve is talking about with the public-private partnership, That rolls right into that building,
Well,
right there.
that's where urban renewal fits in.
That too.
See, that's part of the partnership right there.
Just want to bring out that some of this low-hanging fruit
Yes.
exists within the city itself.
Yeah, well,
That's right.
with thorns on it, with thorns. Okay, so then, past that, we can just, list the list and, we can get Larry Lewis, but what I'm gonna do is, we're gonna take this list, give it to Larry, and have him prioritize these as to figure out our most likely targets, candidates
Yeah.
for bucks. And then, Purdy, how's, have we started the process yet? One other thing I wanted to say before we go any further is I've asked the staff, and they actually have done it before I even asked, to put together a matrix. And it's a matrix for us to keep track of all the palm pressing, baby candy stealing and kissing of foreheads. In other words, it's gonna come very difficult to keep this all on track because we're talking to so many different people, so many different agencies, so on and so forth. So I've asked Curry and the staff to put together, when we call somebody, it goes in the log and this is the outcome of that call. And then the person that did, so we have this data, we can look upon it, so if we need it again, we go back and say, well, if you recall our conversation on the 3rd, or whatever it might be. So I think we need to have that to proceed with this project, because being a sales pitch, it's about making connections and working those connections. So I just wanted to say that also. And I think,
That's good.
Our, last Thursday, Corey and I attended a council of governments in Newport, and Fred Ombudsman at that time reiterated his contacts in Washington, and we talked briefly about affordable housing as well. So he has offered to give us some guidance along those lines. So that I put affordable housing on my list at number 4.
at the expense of which one? The harbor?
You know,
Because the harbor was number 4.
Well, I didn't get that far on the
And if anybody is
whole list.
interested, there is some new housing going up in Lincoln City that
I
is.
just wanted to bring that up. We do have allies
Very nice.
in our midst that can help us in our endeavor.
So, one thing I would like to see on the next council agenda is to talk, Ms. McKim is going to present us a proposal based on information that she's getting as we speak, and she's gonna put together how much her services might cost us. And I'd like, unless we have to go to the public bidding process, I don't think we have to, because this is gonna fall far below $5,000 in this part of the project. So, but I'm still having her come in and give us a price at the next meeting. Dave, you're itching to say something.
Yeah, well, I honestly think that if I understand what this person does, it sounds to me like it's a professional services contract.
It is.
So then you don't have to put that from the bid, unless you want to.
Well, no, and the thing is, if we want that direction, we will not meet any deadline that we need to make to get this project to Washington in October, November
So
this year.
professional services.
Professional services, yeah.
He's, David's correct.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about with Jackie. So if it's all right with everybody, I'd just like to say, hurry, there's the list.
Got it.
Can you, I'll talk to Larry tomorrow, but let's put a bee in his bonnet. I don't think there's anything else I need to talk about on that. Do you, Steve?
I'm sorry?
Is there anything I'm missing here?
No, I just keep hammering on this funding
Okay.
strategy.
All right.
That's really, none of this is gonna happen the way we want it to happen unless we do that part.
Okay.
All right, moving on to new business. Membership application, Lincoln County Mental Health Advisory Committee.
As part of the lipstick,
All right.
the local public safety council that I represent the city of Depoe Bay. An adjunct to that is the Mental Health Advisory Committee, and they're the ones that really pointed the first aid, mental health first aid to us, that service. So I'm engaged in that. I'm happy to continue to do that. I think that it would be smart for the city to become a member of the Mental Health Advisory Committee, and we should be represented there.
It's, I think I read it's like a 21 member, yeah, committee will consist of up to 21 members, and that's just for the county, Lincoln County. And, yeah, I agree.
And
I don't know anything done with 21 people in
I think our presence there is well received.
Well, it also goes on to say that not everybody shows up. So.
No, I saw that. So you're a member of this committee already, right?
Well, I'm representing the city on the other one, but,
Do you wanna take this one on?
well, I'd be happy to, this is an extension of it.
I move that, Bert?
If I might, Rochelle, I spoke with her regarding applying for this, and she said if the city council decides that they'd like to have, the city be a member, and Steve has, offered to, be the representative for the city, she asked if there could be at least one alternate, in case Steve couldn't make a meeting.
That'd be great.
So they'd like to have an alternate.
I'll volunteer.
Thank you.
Your alter ego? Oh, no, that's a good one. Thank you.
We won't talk about her, you've met her.
In any case, we need to make do we need to make a motion?
It would be appropriate, this is a new, group for the city to, be a member of, so.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we apply for membership in the Mental Health Advisory Committee for Lincoln County with both a primary and an alternate member.
Second.
Call please.
Grant,
Aye.
Fisher Brown? Yes. Sparks,
Yes?
Wyatt,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Matheson,
Yes.
Gambino.
Yes.
Benny, you don't have to leave. Do we chase you around?
Bye, Betty.
Good night,
I was
Betty.
hoping to talk to you.
Right.
Bye.
We scared them all away.
Well, we're afraid of them.
Thank you both for your recipes, Jerome.
Huh?
Thank you,
Both
Steve
Steve
and
and
Joe.
Item D, proposed resolution number 441, a resolution declaring the city's elections receive state revenue.
Mr. Mayor, I propose that we ask you to sign and ratify this resolution number 441 concerning the election to receive state funds.
Second.
Made and seconded. Call please.
Fisher Brown? Yes. Sparks,
Yes.
Wyatt,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Matheson,
Yes.
Gambino,
Yes.
Grant.
Aye.
Why would anyone ever say no to that? I mean, what I mean is as a city.
Well, perhaps we're going to
City
libertarian.
actually, huh?
Perhaps you're going libertarian.
Yeah.
But would a city ever really want to be inclined?
On item C, excuse me.
No, go ahead.
Proposed resolution number 442, a resolution adopting the budget, making appropriations, imposing and categorizing the sales, or the tax for the 2015-16 fiscal year.
I'll make that motion that we ask the mayor to sign resolution 442, adopting the budget, making the appropriations, imposing and categorizing the taxes for the 2015-2016 fiscal year.
Second.
And call, please.
Sparks,
Yes.
Wyatt,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Matheson,
Yes.
Gambino,
Yes.
Grant,
Aye.
Fisher Brown? Yes.
Item 10, correspondence.
I have no correspondence this evening.
We're so boring
Okay. City staff report.
Yeah, I'll try to be real quick. Just wanted to let you know, Wave Cable is upgrading their aerial lines all through the city. So they're gonna start from Boiler Bay, and they're going from Lincoln Beach, but it just, where it starts at our, edge of our city, it's all gonna be aerial, it's gonna be an upgrade of their main cable feed, that they get from, I guess it runs all the way to Woodburn, through the corridor and through the mountains, and, so, it's also coinciding with PUD replacing all the poles, the power poles on Williams Avenue. So just about every pole on Williams Avenue from Collins Street to, Lane, they're all gonna be replaced other than maybe two that they had replaced recently. So they're all on pretty bad. But it's gonna require augering and around the water mains and stuff, so our crew has to be on their toes, make sure we got utilities marked correctly.
The substation up there where we have the fiber optics,
Yeah.
that's gonna be connected to it, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
it's the last mile infrastructure for wave cable to go on the backbone on COSCOM.
Yes, because they're gonna go through to Collins,
Right.
and then up Austin, off 101, up Williams, and then down, and then back through the park and back to 101 and on to our route.
So our earlier decision, Mr. Mayor, to put that substation up there is benefiting us right now because it's making it easier for wave cable to redo its last mile infrastructure. How
Brady,
about that?
our ordinance that we operate on we operate with wave cable has, not been ratified, as I recall. But that ordinance states that they will be removing any, wires that are old, not being used, and we'll make sure they do that,
That's
correct?
true, you're right, yeah, cleaning up the poles.
That's
That
right,
was
because
part of
there's
that.
lots of wires on those
Agreement.
poles, so that's part of their obligation.
Apparently, they frequently kind of forget that. Not late necessarily, but anyway.
Right, but that's something that, like, I can keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be involved with battery.
Yeah, but that's part of that's part of our operating agreement with them right there, right now.
Okay.
Glad you brought that up. Very good.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
take a note of that. The other thing real quick, I'm gonna have to draw this out again, so we're at the community hall, and, I'm gonna draw the entryway to the harbor, with the road like this coming through. So the community hall is located right here, say, right? This is the bayfront here. Bayfront. Okay, the creek runs through here, as we all recall. There's a guardrail that runs right about through here, like this.
Yeah.
And that guardrail was there before the road was developed, and the road used to go through here, and we needed a guardrail here, right? Well, the parks want to put the anchor that we got from the Tauntons right here with the big sign, the big rock sign here that says, you know, Depoe Bay Harbor or something, right in this area. Okay. I would like to, if the council okays me, I'd like to remove the guardrail to remove all of this along here. And then there's still going to be this existing guardrail that kind of comes around here. It'll end here and open this up so we can place our sidewalk in here. There's a sidewalk already, but it's not complete. And then the entry to the, and so on. It'll go that way. And I'd like to continue the walkway on down to the harbor eventually. But this is where that sign's going to be, right in this area right here. And then the anchor next to it. With the removal of that guardrail, it'll make it a lot nicer. And then what I thought I'd do is maybe put some large rock in here. There's already a tree right in this area, a very large tree. So I just wanted to run it by the council. We can go ahead and pull that out. It doesn't really need to be there because of the new road development. There's curb, sidewalks.
Brady, on the, what would be the south side of that sign, isn't that parking right along there?
Right in here?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. I got this kind of narrow, but yeah, there's no guardrail there anyway, and the Coast Guard parks along there.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna block that sign?
No.
Okay.
No, the sign's gonna be up more on the roadside, kind of as you enter, you'll see it. They want to be able to have cars see it like from this point and then in. Excuse my artistry. But, yeah, it's kind of something the parks, and I wanted to run it by the council just in case anybody had anything to comment on it. Okay, you need to go ahead and pull the guardrails.
Yeah.
Okay. some rocks in there, just so a car doesn't, if it's in parking, doesn't move forward or something and go into the creek basin. Okay, so that was pretty much it. The crew's busy, we're on meters, and I know it's getting kind of late, so, but we all know they're keeping busy. They're cleaning up the town, getting ready to paint the curves, and stuff's always breaking. So, I just, the council's aware of how well they're doing, so.
Good.
That's it.
Council comments? Joe?
Nope, I'm good.
Steve?
Yeah, very quickly, I want to go back to our previous council meeting and the discussion about the Chamber of Commerce. The newspaper article, News Times article, made it look like we were pretty tough on B-rate. And I wanted to make sure it goes on record to say that our comments, my comments about fiduciary responsibility, etc., are purely professional, business focused, and I really like B-Ray. I think she's one of the finest citizens we have in this town, and I felt bad when I read the article because it made me sound like a jerk. And I happen to like her and respect her, and I don't think there's anything personal about it. There are business decisions that we have to make here, and I can be very passionate about making statements because of my professional background, but it's really a business focus, and I want to make sure that the citizens of our community understand that for me personally.
Kelly?
I just had a suggestion that, most of you have probably already read this, maybe we should give these back to Perry so she can redistribute them at the meeting where this lady comes. That's just saving paper, because I know that's gonna fit in my household.
So one thing I did not read, I've read everything else, but that was here when we got it.
Well, then don't turn it in.
I can forward you.
No, it's just, this, give her the paper.
I've got the electronic
Yeah,
copy.
that's it.
Okay.
Robert, easy.
Comment? Thank you.
Joe?
I know we want to go to the executive session. Just anecdote, little history. Everybody's heard my approach to the council. Everybody's heard that saying, maybe we're a nation of laws, not men. Has everybody heard that saying? John Adams, amongst the crew that said that, and the reason he said that was, as we, one of the reasons we revolted, this country was created, is that we were the servants of a nation that kept changing the laws based upon basically the king's whim, and were repressive to us, so that's the reason why our founding fathers crafted this Constitution that we have, so that that it would inhibit by executive order or otherwise a repressive government changing the rules with every different administration, okay, as much as possible. And that we have this Constitution that we can use as a guiding document. Well, in the city here of Depoe Bay, we have some guiding documents that it's important for us to look at, hence my approach to this receiving a gift, rather than, or this trade, rather than just doing it by executive order. It's wise that we go and use our guiding documents that already exist, our laws, rather than by whim of one council, and like Robert rightly pointed out, going forward, a future council might change their minds. So I think it's important that we craft any decisions that we make using the guidance, if it exists, that we already have within our city regulations. And I will say that one more thing. One of the one of the Englishmen that was against the revolution, against the English government repressing us, he's also considered the father of conservative thought. His name is Edmund Burke. You wouldn't waste your time looking up the man. And he told, there was a book published of all the parliamentary laws and regulations in England. At the time, it was sold more copies in America than it did in England. He told the parliament that the Americans, they're a nation of lawyers. And they know what our laws say better than we do. And we did help vote against them. That being said, we are a nation of laws, not of men. Zoom 200 years in the future, another man said, the United States is a nation of laws, badly written and randomly enforced. Okay, that was Frank Zappa. So that being said, that's all my kind of
All right. I read an article about John Adams. He also was in no less than 7 duels to the death.
Wow.
Just this last
One
week.
thing I should have said in the comments, I guess, I'm on the Cascade West Area Council of Governments Commission on Transportation. And this last meeting we just had meets about quarterly. A lot of really good information, nothing that I'm going to read off. So if anybody's interested in what's going on with ODOT and STIP plans and all that, I have it all. Just get over me. That's it.
Okay. Let's move on to, let's recess to executive session. The council meeting is adjourned.
Yeah, we got time.